When he was like a pro now, he had a gunshot to his head that misses his brain with just 1 inch. Misses his brain with just 1 inch. But on that day, he was still calling his manager that he still wants to fight with that. Go. Hello, sports lovers, fight fans all over the world. Do you know that we are going to make another great history this weekend? Another great history at Allegiant Stadium in the US. Allegiant Stadium is the ground for the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. One of the biggest stadium that has 65,000 seats. And you know what? It's Canelo Alvarez, the pride of the Mexico, fighting against Omaha, Nebraska native Terence Bud Crawford. This weekend, it's going to be fireworks. It's one of the biggest fights that is going to happen after like a 10 plus years of one of the greatest fights. This is one of the greatest fights after a 10 plus years. No fight will match this. This hype and the fight is to happen tomorrow, Saturday. So in the US, this fight is going to go down with the help of Turkish Al-Shir from the Saudi's government, Saudi's prince. So this fight is going to happen this Saturday. So let me break it down for you. I know many of you don't know who Terence Crawford is. Terence Crawford, a native of Omaha, Nebraska, lived in Omaha, Nebraska. He started boxing at the age of 7. Terence Crawford started boxing at the age of 7. But in 2008, when he was like a pro now, he had a gunshot to his head that misses his brain with just 1 inch. Misses his brain with just 1 inch. But on that day, he was still calling his manager that he still wants to fight with that injury. After being shot on the head with a gun and the bullet is stuck on his head, 1 inch away from his brain, this guy still wanted to fight. Now that tells you that this guy is a warrior, he's a fighter. And so, not just that, he has won a 10 title worldwide to his name. But that's not just it. Now this is a guy that is small. Growing up, he was a small-bodied person that most people actually considered as very small. So he was bullied all through. Now that even made him become the fighter that he is right now. He was always bullied at school, but he beat those bullies up. So in the community where Terence came from, Omaha, Nebraska, Terence was always involved in fights to an extent where his mom would pay people of his age, kids of his age, to fight and beat him. And you know what? They did not see that coming because he won all those fights. Even when his mother used to pay these guys, he beat all of them up. Now that tells you that we are up for a war this Saturday because Terence Crawford has won 4 belts already in his last professional fights in different weight classes. He fought at 135, took the belt, conquered the weight, went to 140, took the belt, conquered the weight, went to 144, took the belt, conquered the weight. He fought last at 154 and he conquered the weight, took the belt. So that tells you that this guy doesn't know how to lose. Terence doesn't know how to lose. Now he has moved through weight class to come and fight Canelo Alvarez, the pride of Mexico. Now this fight is not just any normal fight. Remember, Terence was a small guy that has moved up in weight. He is now 3 weight class up to fight Canelo because when he first wanted to fight Canelo, Canelo says he's a small guy. If I beat him up, I'm not going to get any credit for beating a small guy up because people are going to say, he's a small bodied and all that. But then he says if he's given the right money, he can fight Terence Crawford. So he's been given the right money by the Saudi's government. Shout out to the Saudi's government for making all these big fights around the world currently. Saudi, one of the boxers says, if Saudi speaks, that is Chisora. He says when Saudi speaks, no motherfucker talk. One of the boxing pride of UK, Daniel Chisora, he says when Saudi speaks, all the motherfuckers keep quiet. So it's Saudi behind all the big fight happening currently in the US or elsewhere. So Saudi has put in the money through Turkish Al-Shir. Now Turkey has given Canelo 150 million. He was given 200 for 2 fights. Now the first fight was with Scholes, and now the second fight is with Terence Bud Crawford. That is 150 million for Terence fight. Now Terence and Canelo started preparing. Terence went to the side and started preparing, and he prepared, and this guy is now bulked up and ready to go, ready for war. Yesterday during an interview when he was asked, he's like, he's ready to go and he's going to take that belt home to Nebraska with him. He's a native of Nebraska, like I say, Omaha, Nebraska, and he has done so much for his community. He has a boxing gym. Being a guy who has been on the street and he has suffered from, like holy street life, he realized that boxing has changed his life, and now he wants to do that for his people in Omaha, Nebraska, and elsewhere. Terence Crawford also came to Uganda. He came to Gulu. He came to Gulu main market. He came to the Kyo Hospital just this year, and he's fighting one of the biggest fights in the world. Like I said in the beginning, it has been 10 plus years without any fight like this in the world, and this is going to be an history in the making come Saturday night. And like I say, this is one of the biggest stadium. Allegiant Stadium is the home for the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raider. The nature of that stadium is unique because it has an underneath natural grass that comes only when it's instructed, and it's it has a weather control. It's a 65,000 seats, but it has a weather control or whatever you want to call it. So it's going to be massive tomorrow. Like I said, Terence was brought into the world of fight by a coach called Carl. But after that, he has worked with Brian Bomac McIntyre for whole his entire fight. Most that he's won, because like I said, Terence does not know how to lose. He has 41 fight to his name, professional bouts. And he has won whole his 41 fights. 31 came by way of knockout, So Terence doesn't know how to lose, and he's coming against Canelo Alvarez. He came as a small guy, but as I talk right now, Terence is looking bigger than Canelo Alvarez. He's looking massive. He's looking shredded. When his picture came over the media, it took the media by surprise because the guy is bulked up. 6 packs are looking like 10 packs. His muscles are just insane. So Terence says he's ready to go. He's ready to go, no doubt. Terence is ready to go. So let's look at Saul Canelo Alvarez, the pride of Mexico. Canelo is no joke. He's a beast. And this guy is coming in to fight Terence Crawford in his own weight class. Remember, Terence came up in weight, so Canelo fights at 168. So that is his natural weight class. So he's come Canelo is the boogeyman in this fight. So Terence Crawford climbing weight, and like I said, most people are not riding Terence out because he's coming from low weight class, but also they're riding Canelo out because they're like, Terence IQ is better than Canelo's IQ. Terence is a guy who can switch stance, like I say, and Canelo is just good with head movement. Others says he fight on a flat foot. But as well, Terence is a switch boxer. He can switch from orthodox to southpaw. It's naturally a southpaw, but on the other side, Canelo is an orthodox who fights on his orthodox stance, and they say Canelo rely on a one power punch. But that's not the case, because in the past we've seen Canelo has 67 fights to his name. I say Terence started fight at 7 years, but Canelo started at 13. Who brought Canelo to the fight is his elder brother, who was a professional boxer called Rico Roberto. He was a professional boxer. But Canelo also, like Terence Crawford, he was also being bullied because in his family, he was the only red hair Mexican in his family. So he was always bullied against his look. So Canelo, because he was always bullied, he has to stand for himself. He started fighting to defend those who would bully him. Those two have something similar in common. But also, the thing is, they don't know how to lose. Yes, Canelo has lost 2 fights. First to Floyd Mayweather when he was a bit young though. But now his other fight that he has lost came most recently to Bivol, because he had moved in weight class. So he fought Bivol. He was also daring to be great, just like Terence Crawford is doing right now. So he lost. But now let me tell you, Canelo has won all his other fights. 67 fights, and he has lost only 2. He has around 30 plus knockouts, around 36, 37 knockouts of all these fights. So that tells you who he's coming against. And Canelo has been fighting, and he has been the Pride of Mexico. So he only fights his biggest fight on the 13th of this month, because this is when Mexico will be celebrating their Independence Day. So that tells you that in the crowd, Canelo is, most of the fans are going to be pro Canelo. It was even seen yesterday when when they made their arrival to the stadium, where Terence was being booed while Canelo was being welcomed. You know, Terence is fighting in the US. Canelo is also fighting in the US, like I say, in Las Vegas. But Terence was being booed in his own country while Canelo was being celebrated. Now that tells you that Canelo has crafted his name. Canelo currently lives in the US at San Diego, California, where he has built a life, he has mansion, he has holy thing to his name. But don't forget that he's proud of Mexico, and he only fights for Mexico, not the US. So Canelo is a fighter that has fought so many special names and he's beaten most of them. Triple G, we have guys that Canelo has fought. He has fought so many of them. Sanders, and he has fought so many of them, beaten all of them up, with exceptions of only two. Floyd Mayweather, that you know, it has not need no introduction. That is the only guy that has beaten Canelo before, and before that he tried to move in weight, and Bivol beat him also up. So, but apart from that, Canelo has won all his fight. Hands down. So Canelo was trained before by his former coach, that was Chapo, whose son now trains Canelo. So Canelo has taken this camp very seriously, because unlike the past camps, Canelo in the past, it's believed that he used to train with a horse. While riding a horse, he jumped off the horse every time the horse is riding. Now that is for building a lower best of him. As a boxer, you need a strong stand. So for him, as the horse is riding at its speed, Canelo jumps off the ride, and he has done this. And in this camp, they say he has brought along an horse. Canelo. Let's go. Apart from that, Canelo takes a 20 minutes ice cold bath. 20 minutes ice cold bath, and shivers for 10 minutes. That's all he's been doing. All Canelo knows is how to fight. You know, so aside from that, he takes his stretches very seriously. So like I said, these are the two greatest now. Canelo is a pound for pound #1, and it's believed that Terence Crawford, or Terence Bud Crawford, is the #2 pound for pound in the world currently. Now that tells you the best and the best are versing each other. Now you know what's going to go down. And this fight is a special fight because, like I say, Terence Crawford can sweep both stands, he can fight on both stands. While Canelo has one of the best head movement in the game. It's the best actually. And Canelo has the best chin, because his chin has been tested before. It does not have a glass chin. So he's fought heavy guys, heavy hitters, but none of them, he has never been dropped in his entire career. He has never been dropped. You had me right. He has never been dropped. So like I say, it's happening this weekend. But remember, most of the people that move up in weight before won the fights. Like, you know, the small guys who moved up in weight won the fight. But this is a different situation, and we don't want to like conclude from that angle. And we want to tell you that you've known that these guys, from the stories, these guys are all special in their own ways. Very special in their own ways. Canelo with a 67 fight. And remember, Canelo is the youngest, but he has fought more fights. 67. Terence Bud Crawford is a smart guy. He says every time he fights, he wants to give his body some rest. He only has 44 to his name. But Canelo, every time you fight Canelo, you're assured of the fight pass. Money is a money fight. So Terence Crawford, daring to be great, is fighting Canelo this weekend, like I said. And so I want to know, on hearing about the stories, like I said, Terence, after that 2008 incident of a shot to his head that misses his brain with just 1 inch, that was a turning point in his career. But for Canelo Alvarez, his first turning point was when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. He has learned so many things. He became a different fighter. But look, these two guys fought their last fight, and all the last fight was criticized. Terence Bud Crawford fought Madrimov, which he struggled in that fight at 154. Canelo Alvarez fought William Scholes in his last fight, in his last bout, that has just happened a few months ago. And he's struggling in this fight. But for him, he says because it's hard to fight a guy who keeps running and does not want to engage in the fight. For Terence Crawford, most people feel like he's moving up in weight and facing that guy was a challenge. But Terence says weight will not be a problem because he has put up so much weight, and he says he's moving so well, his speed is intact, and we are going to wait to see if come fight night. And Canelo has worked on himself, and he says he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Like I said, it's happening, going down on Allegiant Stadium tomorrow, Saturday, at the Las Vegas Raiders home ground. The fight is happening tomorrow. So give me your take. Who do you think wins this bout? Terence Crawford or the Pride of Mexico, Canelo Alvarez? So these two, without any biasness or considering that you belong on one side, because Terence is a black American while Canelo is a Mexican. Just as a sport lover, who do you think wins this fight?